This is exactly what I would do to lose 10 kilograms in 3 months. And this is coming from someone who looked like this, and then this. My wife did the exact same thing, going from this to this. Now, before I get into the exact steps, there's two things that you need to understand. I learned this about 2 years ago, and it has completely changed the way I look at health and fitness. I believe it is an absolute cheat code when it comes to getting in shape and, most importantly, staying in shape. Let's get into this. The first thing you need to know is the relationship between calories in and calories out, the energy you consume versus the energy you burn. When it comes to weight loss, there is one fundamental truth that all of these diets have in common, and that is your calories needs to be lower than the calories you burn. Keto, 1 meal a day, intermittent fasting, all of them have this as a foundational rule. When it comes to weight gain, it is the opposite. Okay, this brings me to the second thing. This completely blew my mind when I first learned this, but this is how your body burns energy on a day-to-day basis. The majority of the energy you burn is what we call your basal metabolic rate. This is you just existing, just staying alive. In other words, you could lay on the couch the whole day and you will burn 60 to 70% of your daily calories. That is wild. One of the primary drivers in base metabolic rate is your muscle mass. This is very important. I'll get to that a bit later on. But think of it as the engine to a car. The bigger the engine, the more fuel it needs. In other words, the higher your muscle mass, the more calories it needs just to stay alive. The second part is your non-exercise activity. This is basically you moving around. This is your step count. This is you cleaning the house. This is you going to the supermarket. And then 5 to 10% is what we call thermic effect of food. In other words, your body uses energy to digest food. This is also an important point to remember for later. And then 5 to 10% is exercise activity. This is you going to the gym, going for a jog. Any sort of exercise is only 5 to 10% of the energy that you burn in a day.